I'm absolutely delighted to be here in this part of Ireland, to be here in Newry. Friends, a fortnight has now passed since the result of the general election in the south became clear, and we've had time to absorb the significance of the outcome. If you sit back and judge what has transpired, the only assessment that can be landed on is that all is changed, and changed utterly. For the first time ever, neither Fianna Fáil nor Fine Gael won the biggest share of the vote, and for the first time ever, they failed to win a majority of Dáil seats between them. And this represents a seismic shift in the attitudes of the electorate, the likes of which, in truth, we haven't seen in 100 years. Parties advocating a left-of-centre platform have made big gains in the past, but never has the result of a party reshaped Irish politics to the extent of that of the election of 37 Sinn Féin TDs. Just as the unionist majority here in the north is gone, so too the historic duopoly of the so-called Big Two is no more, and the Irish political landscape is now changed forever. And this was a very conscious decision on the part of the electorate. It wasn't a protest vote. The people have voted for something new. The people have voted for change. We in Sinn Féin put forward a manifesto to give workers and families a break, to fix the very real problems we face, and of course to advance Irish unity. It was and is a manifesto for change, and it is the basis for a programme for a government of change. And people are now looking to us to deliver. They're looking to us to lead. And what the election campaign very clearly demonstrated is that people trust Sinn Féin to stand up for them, to work hard for them, and to make a real difference in their lives. Our objective is a government that builds homes, cuts rents and freezes them. We want to reduce the pension age to 65. We want a government that stands up to the vulture funds in the insurance industry. We want one that gives workers and families a break by taking the first €30,000 of income out of the USC. We want to meet climate change head on with an agenda for climate justice, and we want to advance Irish unity. And that is what the people voted for. They voted for this real change. Not simply for Sinn Féin to go into government for the sake of it, or because it's our turn, but rather because they've given us a chance to show that we can in fact improve their lives. A chance that we can honour our commitments, a chance to shape a government that will finally do right by ordinary people. And that is why Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are so determined to keep us out of government, because they don't want change. They've had it all their own way for 100 years, and now faced with new realities, they are trying everything they can to keep Sinn Féin and the people that we represent out of government. And this is a very deliberate tactic on their part. They know exactly what they're at, and we know exactly what they're at, and the people know exactly what they're at, because really this is all about power. They've had it for themselves for a very long time, and they are not minded to give it up. They don't want things to change, and right enough, nothing will change if both Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are back in government together. There certainly won't be a plan for Irish unity put in place if they join forces. Sinn Féin is the only All-Ireland party resolutely committed to a united Ireland. The others have no plan for a unity referendum. nor do they have a plan to encourage or prepare for the widest possible conversation across all sectors of society on this island about how best to promote and to win a unity referendum. But here's the thing, for all that, they cannot and they will not block the growing demand for unity. During the election campaign, Micheál Martin, Uachtarán Fianna Fáil, proudly declared that he would not call for a border poll, even in the face of this growing demand. Now, Eamon de Valera once represented this constituency in the Stormont Parliament as an abstentionist, by the way. What would he say, do you think, to Micheál Martin's position? What would Frank Aiken say? What would Dan Breen say? What would those who fought for Ireland's freedom say to Fianna Fáil unwilling to sit down with Republicans in the aim of uniting our country? All of our candidates in the election proudly declared ourselves as United Irelanders because that is who we are. So be assured that in all of our discussions with the other parties about agreeing a programme for government, the desire and the demand for unity is a priority. Sinn Féin wants to be in government across the island, north and south. The power sharing government here in the north has been back up and running over the last 6 weeks. And under the leadership of Michelle O'Neill, we have binned the bedroom tax, we have protected 38,000 households from Tory cuts, we've extended welfare protections, we've moved quickly to end the nurses' pay dispute for equal pay, and a new house building programme has been announced. Additional funding has been made available for education, and the victims and survivors of the contaminated blood scandal in the north will receive compensation payments. And I give you this simply as an example of what Sinn Féin can achieve in government. But we want to do so much more, north and south. In the coming period, we will be stepping up our engagements with other parties and independents to bring about a government of change. The politics of exclusion doesn't work. It never has and it never will. We all know that too well. So now is the time for those who refuse to speak to us and by extension disrespect hundreds of thousands of voters to come to that conclusion as well and to show some respect. Because you see, whatever else may come from this historic election, be very clear of one thing. The days of the political establishment having it their own way are over and gone. And they're over not because I say so, not because Sinn Féin says so, but because the people have said so loudly and clearly, and their message must be heard. So now we face the business of doing politics, the business of better government, the business of delivering for the people. And this is all about charting a new way forward. It's not about retreating to the old failed government of the past. We are ambitious for all of the people of this island. We have a vision for Ireland, unity, equality, prosperity. And our aim is to bring about real change north and south. We know that now we are faced with a huge opportunity at a time of enormous challenges. And we want you, all of you, to stay the distance with us now as we all work together, those of us who are elected and those of you who elected us, that we remain of one voice and one mind. The past is the past. There is no progress to be found there. The future is our destination. We want a new united Ireland, and that is what we are committed to delivering. We want a government of change as mandated by the people, and that is what we are committed to delivering. We have work to do. Much has been done, but there is progress to be made yet, and we are going to walk this journey together. And so I thank you all for being here this evening in such huge numbers, and I look forward to your questions, your wisdom, your advice and your suggestions. Gnairlin, Lacéile, Gura Mila, Mila, Mahago.